Pappy's back. We're going to get back on the Firebird. Like I said last week, we needed to move to getting the trunk put back in this thing where I can attach the fuel tank and get the car ready to run and drive. We are going to be moving soon, so we got to get things, in order for that. And we're still looking for houses. We haven't found anything yet, but hopefully the good Lord will provide. But anyway, just watch me work. Okay, as you can see, got the trunk cleared out. We're going to go ahead and remove this pan and try to clean up and get these edges met, and maybe put some seam sealer down and start getting this welded back into place. I had to drill these spot welds out to 1/4 inch. I wanted a little bit more bite for the weld. It needs to be 1/4 inch for the plug weld. I'm going to leave the car itself at 3/16, and I'll just fill that hole and then complete the weld, and it'll give a little more bite to hold this in place. But I need to go back underneath. I got to put this back in one more time and draw my lines. Use the brace as a template to locate where the holes are going to go, and I'm going to plug weld it from the top to hold the brace to this panel. But I got to trace it from the bottom, and then I'll bring it up and grind down what I need and drill my holes through this so it'll go into the brace. And once we get that into place and held there, then we'll weld everything into place. Okay, I now have the panel back into place. I'm going to climb under the car. I was going to take you with me, but I'm scared I'll break this camera. So with that said, I'm going to get under here and I'm going to mark out with this silver Sharpie onto this black E-coat of where I've got to, put this brace. So I want to draw it out, trace around the brace. Then I'll know where to drill my holes for the plug welds down here in the floor, and I'm going to plug weld it from the top. Old man has a hard time welding laying flat on his back, so we're going to try to do as much of this as we can from inside this trunk instead of climbing under and trying to weld up. It makes more sense that way anyway. But we'll continue on. I'm going to get under there now. We have got the outlines all drawn right around here for the brace. And what I'm going to do is take some measurements and come off of this line inward. And now I got to keep my plug welds along the edges all the way around, and we're going to plug weld this panel to that blower brace. But first I'm using this to locate the brace, because this end of the brace is not attached to anything. It's got to attach to the blower. So to get it located, I want this panel to be welded in. All the plug welds are out here done. Then with this marked, I'm going to have it transfer it to the other side. We're going to drill from the back side. And then from that point, on the inside, I'll plug weld back to this brace after this panel is put in. But I got to get these holes drilled before I put this in. So that's my next project, is to drill the holes for the plug weld. Okay, I wanted to take a minute and show you back here in the trunk. As you can tell, I need to finish trimming up here. I don't need all that extra metal hanging down, so I'm going to go ahead and continue trimming that across. And then I'm going to take a hammer and dolly and a file and try to get some of these sharp edges off. And then we'll go ahead and put that trunk pan back in and get it anchored back down and ready to weld. So that's where I'm at right now, and just watch me work. Okay, I'm going to show you, go over what we did this week. We fitted this panel, ground the edges, chamfered all the edges, and we started the plug weld procedure through here. They're not pretty, but it is trunk, and I'm using this opportunity to learn how to weld. I had to make me a patch to go in right here, and I'm going to grind all this down, make it look a little bit better, but there'll probably be a mat or something in here anyway that's going to cover all this stuff up. It's going to have seam sealer all blobbed all over it. I mean, from the factory, you can see over here, they didn't do a very nice job anyway, you know, and it's like that on both sides. This side was wrecked before, and that may have been replaced, but over here it looks just the same. It was only on one side it was hit. It was over here on the right rear, but I don't think it was bad enough to get into this. It's got one crinkle if you look up there, but you know, all in all, this trunk pan's pretty straight. You know, once I get this in there, and I've drilled my holes, and I got a jack up from underneath. Once I get this welded in firmly to the trunk, I'm going to jack this into place to help locate it, and then I'll come back through and we'll run a drill bit down to knock that paint off. I had that weld through primer, but I'm going to knock an area so I can strike an arc, and then we'll plug weld all these up, and then that'll get that tied in. Then we'll be done with the trunk pan. Then I can proceed on to get the leaf springs back under it and get the wheels back on this thing, get it down, and hopefully in the future we'll be moving soon. So, and I guess we'll have to go through building a shop wherever I move to. So just bear with me, and we're going to continue on.